Parents can't imagine that their kids would not have the choice or would ever be with them in heaven. They just can't imagine that. And I'm a father, so I'm there. First of all, let me say this. Thank you for caring about your child's eternity. There are millions of parents that do not. So thank you for doing that. So our minds, some parents are, hey, well, what about VBS? What about Sunday school? What about Soul Station? You mean to tell me they cannot pick God unless he first picks them, and they don't have a choice? And listen, like I said, I'm a parent. I don't want to leave eternal decisions up to my children, no matter what age they are. I don't want to leave those decisions up. My kids, I don't know if they're like yours, my kids can't pick out the right matching socks out of the family sock basket, okay? If it was up to them, they would eat ice cream every meal all day long. They would do that. Some of your kids can't even pick out the right toy in their Happy Meal at McDonald's and throw a tantrum. Do you really, really, really want to leave the eternal decisions up to your children? I do not as a father. I don't want to know that it rests on the hands of a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old. I don't want to do. What I do want to do is I want God to do that. I want God to do that amazing work in there. So here's what I do as a parent, and here's what I encourage you to do as a parent. To get on your knees every night and beg and plead and cry out to God. God, save them. Save my kids. I know you and you alone can do the supernatural work in them. Reveal yourself to them. And then, God, I pray that they delightfully choose to run into your arms. All right? I pray to God, save them, save them, save them. If I didn't think that God did that, here's what I would do. I would get home every night and I would plead to my kids to pick Jesus. I wouldn't pray to God at all. Pick Jesus, please. Would you pick Jesus? I could coerce them. I could sell Jesus to them. I could force it to happen. And let me tell you what, I've tried it. It doesn't work. It does not work. I'm thankful that a God does that in us. And we need to pray as a parents who have small children. We know that we are two absolutes. We pray to God, save them, and then we also know that Proverbs says that we're supposed to train up a child in the way that he should go. So we have responsibility there too as parents. We don't take our hands off and say, I don't have to do anything because God's going to choose or not. We don't do that. We actively participate in teaching our kids that God alone and Christ alone is what saves. All right. Now I want to transition that to let you know that I believe in a covenant theology in the Bible. I believe there's consistent covenant that God makes with his people throughout the Bible. So I say that because some parents have heard the stories of Jacob and Esau and Isaac and Ishmael, and they look and they're like, okay, oh my gosh, I have 2 kids. Is God going to go down the road? He's going to pick one and not pick the other? I got 4 kids. These 2 are going to heaven and 2 are going to hell. That's not what's going on in the text. That's not at all what Paul says, and that's not at all what God is teaching. What he's teaching is a principle that ultimately that God is ultimately over salvation of all people. Actually, a promise of that God is the one who's over salvation, not man. All right, so but in that, he's teaching a principle to understand how that plays out is this. That I believe that God honors homes. I believe that God honors families where you have 2 Christian parents who preach Christ alone, who saves alone. I believe that God honors that through bringing salvation through those homes. As a principle, not a promise. Now, we have to hold firm to that and remember that. So I just wanted to give some comfort to the parents in that space because, I'm there, I'm with you.